Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Dr. Ghost and today we're going to be taking a look at the Tier 4 Russian Premium Heavy Cruiser, the Mikoyan. So this ship you guys can get right now in the Stellar Clash event mode or the Space Clash event mode right now. Or sorry, the planet, there's too many clashes. The Planet Clash mode. Once you get to the Cosmic Terror level, you can get to level 5 in that, and you get the Mikoyan. So you have to get through easy, normal, hard, and then you have to get to the Cosmic Terror mode, and then you have to complete 5 levels of the Cosmic Terror mode to get the Mikoyan. Okay? Or the Mikoyan. Pardon my pronunciation. You all should know by now I'm not very good at pronouncing ship names. I try my best. But I'm not going to bother going into trying to pronounce it because it's irrelevant. I'm not going to, play this ship much. I'm not going to mention it much. So whatever. Anyways, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the upgrades in Loadout. We are running Aiming Systems Mod 1. Okay, there we go. For the Loadout now, we have high explosive shells, armor-piercing shells, torpedoes. Our consumables, we have standard damage control parties. We have 2 sonars, which aren't very good sonars. They're pretty mediocre, nothing special about them at all. And we have some catapult fighters as well. I put on the Planet Clash flag because, well, it looks good. Because this is a Planet Clash ship. I got it, from the Planet Clash event. So I thought, why not put the Planet Clash flag on my Planet Clash reward ship, right? Kind of makes sense, I thought, so screw it. Put that on. Anyway... And finally, for the Loadout tab, we have the Type 9 camouflage that the ship comes with, and it's just fine. It looks good. Very nice. Very nice indeed. One thing I'll mention is this thing looks like a Kotovsky. It looks like a Kotovsky with just bigger guns. So we'll talk about that later. So for the specs here, survivability, 21,000 hit points. Very poor for a Tier 4 cruiser. That is pretty bad. And a 10% torpedo damage reduction. For the artillery, we have 6 180mm guns. We have 3 turrets, and each one of those turrets is a dual turret. So you get two 180mm barrels per turret. So I'm getting all tongue twisted, but anyway, as you guys can see, you have 4 off the bow, 2 off the stern there. So 6 guns in total. And you all should know how I feel about 6-gun ships, especially on cruisers and battleships. I do not like 6-gun ships at all. So, the thing I look for in cruisers is decent speed, decent maneuverability, decent firepower that can just put out lots of hatred downrange and support your team. And this doesn't really do any of that. It's already a Tier 4 cruiser anyway, so it's probably not going to do that regardless. But, hey, whatever. So these 180mm guns on my build currently have a 16.5 km firing range. The reload is 11.6 seconds. The 180-degree turn time on these turrets is pretty bad. It's 22.5 seconds, so nothing special there. The HE shell maximum damage is 2,500 with a 14% chance of setting fires, so not the greatest HE in the world at all. But the AP is pretty good. The AP shell's maximum damage is 5,000, so... yeah, that's like the only thing good about this cruiser, by the way, is the AP. And I mean, that's it. Everything about it, everything else about it is pretty bad, okay? Moving on to the torpedoes. We have 533mm torpedoes. We have 3 per side, and they only have a 4-km range. So you're never going to be using these unless you have an oh shit scenario where someone is right up on you and you have no choice, right? So yeah. Probably never going to use those. The AA defense, pretend like it doesn't even exist. It is bad. It's bad, okay? The maneuverability. The speed is pretty good. 36.8 knots, just like the Kirov, just like the Kotovsky. Pretty good speed there. Another main downside, though, is the turning circle radius. The turning circle on this cruiser, just like the Kotovsky, just like the Kirov, it's bad. 830-meter turning circle, it's... yikes. That's horrible for a cruiser. Just to put that in perspective, most Tier 4 battleships have better turning circle radius than this ship right here, and the other Russian light cruisers at this tier, or heavy cruisers, whatever you want to call them. So that says something. The battleships at this tier have better turning circle. That's pretty gnarly. Anyway, don't believe me. Look for yourself. I mean, seriously. Like, Just take a look at the Pyotr Velecki, for example. 800-meter turning circle. The Nikolai, 600-meter turning circle. Yeah. Overall, the turning circle on this thing is a joke. So, yep. Nonetheless, moving on to the detectability range by sea, 11.4, not the greatest there. Detectability range by air is 7.2. Okay. 2 guaranteed with a 6.2 while firing in smoke. So concealment is meh. Not that great. Now moving on to the armor. The armor is horrible. The armor is just... Yeah, it's almost worse than some destroyers. You have 13 millimeters of bow and stern armor. Okay, if you take that away, you have 10 millimeters of superstructure and whatnot, and overall just bad armor. The turrets, same armor for most cruisers, nothing special there. And the main thing that's so bad about this, just like the Kotovsky and the Kirov, is the Citadel. And you know what's funny is the Citadel is actually bigger than the Omaha's Citadel. And y'all are like, the Omahas are free dev strikes. Have you seen the Mikoyan or the Mikoyan and the Kotovsky and the Kirov? These things have longer Citadels than the Omahas. You don't believe me? Well, go take a look. For example, the Murmansk is an Omaha, and her Citadel is smaller. Her Citadel is smaller than those ships. Like, seriously, it's pretty bad. I mean, literally the Citadel goes from the front turret all the way to the back turret. Like, that is bad. And it's bad, too, especially since I've been dev-struck every single game I've played in this cruiser. Every game I've played in the Mikoyan, I've been dev-struck. Every time. It's a bad time. Like, let's go take a look at the Omaha herself. The ship that we all know and love for blowing up. Right? Even the Omaha has a... It's a more girthy Citadel, it's a bigger Citadel in terms of height, but it doesn't cover the whole ship. You know what I mean? So I get Citadel'd less in Omahas than I do in the Mikoyan. I've never been dev-struck in a cruiser more. Maybe yesterday I played the whatever it's called. The Mysore. I've been dev-struck in that a lot too. And the Mysore follows the same doctrine. It's got a long-ass Citadel. And it's just like... Yeah, I don't like the long Citadels. That really just kills me. It really does. But anyway, heading back over to our review of the Mikoyan. Overall, yeah, the armor's bad. The armor's horrible. And it doesn't even have the maneuverability to make up for that. It's going to be one of those cruisers that you do not want to get caught, ever. Ever. You do not want to be shot at, ever. Because all it takes is a couple of battleship caliber shells to enter that Citadel. Even cruiser shells will neuter this thing. And it happened to me in game where I got Citadel through the bow by a Furitaka. It's a bad time. So it really is. Anyway, the final thing we're going to take a look at is the commander build. We're running Nikolai Kuznetsov, Karl von Mueller, and Francesco Membelli as inspirations. We've got Beyond Range, Igniter, Punch Through, Fixated, and Refill Station. He's a Legendary 3, Rank 16 Captain. And nonetheless, I will bring you all over to the gameplay portion of today's video. Keep in mind, the games you guys are going to see, they're not good games. Okay? They're pretty mediocre games at best. And the main reason why I'm showing you those games is just because of the laughing factor that I got dev-struck in all three of them. The first game I played, dev-struck. Second game I played, dev-struck. And the third game, dev-struck. It's funny. So I hope y'all do enjoy it. Because I know I did. Not really. So anyway, I'm going to bring you guys over there now. Enough jibber-jabbering. Alrighty, so here we are in the gameplay portion. We're on Warrior's Path. This is my very first game in the Mikoyan. And yeah, so tier 5 game, Ryujo and carriers, and oh my. So yeah, you guys can probably see where this is going to go. Not very good matchmaking. Honestly, I think the Mikoyan is going to be best suited in a game with like a bunch of tier 3s and a bunch of people who are oblivious to you. That's the only way. Because any decent battleship player, if they see this, all they have to do is aim correctly, land a few of those big guns, and you're dead. It's that simple. We covered it in the review portion. We talked about it in the review portion. The Mikoyan has a giant Citadel. and it has very low HP. Only 4 bars of HP. Like, some destroyers can almost get more HP than this. For example, the French destroyer, the tier 4 tech tree, the Jaguar. Even the Jaguar can get almost more HP than this ship. So it just goes to show. Even my Farragut has like 13,000, almost 14,000 hit points. And that's a destroyer. This thing only has like a Farragut and a half worth of hit points. So you guys can just, you know... Yeah, I honestly, although these games are going to be bad, they're not great games, but I'm going to tell you guys how you need to be playing this ship, at least the only way, because the only redeeming factor, like I said, the only redeeming quality and factor about this ship is the guns. And the only thing good about the guns is the AP. The AP is the only thing really solid about this ship. So what you need to be doing is trying to not get shot at, using islands and using smoke screens if there's ever those, and that's it. Your only saving grace is your guns, and they're not going to be doing much saving. Let me tell you. I mean, this is not going to be one of those cruisers you're going to be carrying in at tier 4. It's not a seal clubber. It's actually quite the opposite. People are going to be seal clubbing you. It's happened to me already. The second game I'm going to show you guys where I got removed is that game that I'm talking about where I got seal clubbed. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, so as you guys can see, I'm on the right side of the map and at the Bravo spawn. I'm not pushing in there, and I'm trying to play cautious. I did take a look at the armor. I'm like, oh my god, this thing's Citadel is huge, but surely the guns are going to be good, and they are. The guns are good. So I'm trying to like back up and be cheeky and use the island here. I'm trying not to you know, overextend or push into the cap and get shot at by everything. So anyway, the first person we take a shot at is this Furitaka, and the Furitaka is angling away, and the dispersion's not looking good, and unfortunately we miss everything. Another thing I forgot to mention about the Mikoyan is the fact that the guns have really good shell velocity. The guns can travel really fast downrange. So that is another good thing about the guns, is they travel really quick and they're very flat in terms of trajectory. So you're going to have no problem hitting people at longer ranges. Now, obviously, like penning battleships and whatnot, it is possible. You're not going to probably be getting any citadels on a battleship, but you're going to be able to get decent penetrations like you guys can see here. I'm getting decent amounts of damage with the armor-piercing shells. It is pretty good. Now, there's a broadside Pensacola out here with no camo. I'm backing up to try to dodge some of his shells. But as you guys can see, even though I dodge most of them, I still get hit by a few, and they take a quarter of my health. This thing only has 4 bars of HP. I can't afford to be tanking hits like that. Now, speaking of tanking hits, we did hit that Pensacola for a Citadel. I mean, as you guys can see, this thing has no problem citadeling things, especially cruisers that are broadside at medium to longer ranges. And we just got hit again, and we've already lost like half of our HP. It's just like, yeah, if you get hit even by a few shells, you're going to be losing lots of hit points. The armor's horrible. The armor is horrible. There's another Citadel, by the way, on the Pensacola. He's still just sailing broadside. He's a no camo Pensacola. And he hasn't figured out that he has a giant Citadel, and he's not making it hard at all for me to, you know, hit it. So I hit him 3 times there and got 3 Citadels, and down he goes. And we're up to 29,000 damage. Now, the enemy Fuso here on this side of the map is pushing in. He is also accompanied by an Alba as well, or Aoba. And, well, we got to be careful about that, but we really got to be careful, though, about those 14-inch 356mm guns that the Fuso is sending. Those guns can and will penetrate and citadel us at no matter the angle, right? 13mm can even get overmatched by 6-inch guns. So that Fuso, we really need to, like, get the hell out of here, get back, and you know, not get shot by that guy. And that's what we're doing, right? And that's the main problem, too, is, like, this ship just cannot take a hit. It can't. Like, just to put it in perspective, all it takes is 2 Citadels. 2 Citadels. 2 14-inch rounds, 2 13, 2 12-inch rounds is all it takes, and you're dead. 2 Citadels for 11k, or 10,000 roughly would do it. 10,500 to be exact. That's all it takes. And if you get citadeled by a cruiser, it only takes like maybe 3 or 4 citadels to kill you. So you really have to be very careful in this. If you're not careful, you will blow up in spectacular fashion, okay? So that is just something to bear in mind. And it's something that I quickly forgot about, seems like. I was too busy focused on the Fuso and the Aoba that here shortly, we forgot about one ship. We forgot about one ship that's on the other side of the map. Pay attention to the map. You guys can see there's a battleship out there, and he has his broadside towards us, which means he could hit us with guns if he's aimed at us, and I'm not paying attention. I did just get another citadel on another cruiser, the Aoba there. That's our 4th citadel. I mean, as you guys can see, the guns, the AP shells are good. They are really good. But in terms of carrying and whatnot, this ship cannot do it. It doesn't have the hit points. It doesn't have the maneuverability at all. And any second now, we're about to get dropped on across the map by a certain somebody. And, oh, there they are, the New York, and, yup, yup, there it is, the first dev strike of the day. But, anyways, moving on to the next game. If I was paying more attention, that might have not have happened. If I was dodging more and turning, maybe I could have dodged that incoming salvo of 14-inch guns from that New York. But, unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be. So here's the second game I played. It's on, I forgot the name of this map. I think it's Straight or Big Race, I don't remember. But anyway, it's a domination mode, and we're on the left side, Charlie side, and we're going to push in there and just see what we can do. I don't like this map, especially for a cruiser like this. This is a longer range, island-hugging cruiser, and this is a pretty close quarters map, and people tend to rush in, and this is not a very good, you know, map for this kind of ship here. So, yeah, we're going to push in, though. We're going to get the cap and see what we can do. Now, remember, if you have a bit of hopes and dreams and, you know, you combine that with your sonar and plane, you might be able to accomplish some things. Like I said earlier, too, in the video, I said that if you can get the right matchmaking, like if you can get the perfect lobby where everybody's oblivious to you and just sailing in straight lines and not even worrying about you and letting you dev strike them or whatever, obviously you're going to have a good time. Like, this is definitely one of those cruisers that you can have a good game in, but it's just really hard to do, especially when there's matches out there where there's a lot of battleship players or even some cruiser players that aren't stupid, right? There's a lot of good battleships out there, like Julio Cesars and Texases and New Yorks, as you guys saw, and they know when to shoot at a broadside cruiser. So it's even an angled cruiser. Even if you angle on this thing, it's just like, it's a bad time. So yeah, I mean, it's not an easy ship to do well in. You know, the only redeeming quality about, you know, this ship is the 180mm armor-piercing shells. And even that, sometimes the guns just don't do anything, like you guys just saw there. They all went around and missed. The accuracy is questionable, to say the least. Now, those look a little better, and they are. We do get a citadel there on that Kuma at like 11, 12 kilometers, and, well, there we go. 7,000 damage. We also did just get the Charlie cap, so that is now in our team's name. And now I'm going to head to the south and see if I can't get some nice shots downrange on the enemy team. Set up some crossfires and whatnot. So that's what we're going to do. Now, thankfully, actually, no, it is a carrier game. I was going to say, thankfully, it's not a carrier game, but I'm looking at the top and I'm like, oh, wait, it's a carrier game. And I guess the only reason why I thought it wasn't is because we haven't seen the carrier yet. The carrier has not sent, I don't think, any planes at us. I don't even know if he sent any planes the whole game. He might have. I haven't been paying attention. But, yeah, I haven't seen the carrier, so he's not really made himself known. But it is only a Tier 3 carrier, but then again, this ship doesn't have good AA regardless, so I don't think we're going to be able to shoot down even his Tier 3 AA planes. Now, we do have a broadside AMD out here, and the AMD gets citadeled by me, but also gets removed for the rest of his HP by the Ganget, and the Ganget gets a dev strike, and down he goes. And once again, we have a broadside Kuma out here, and, well, we have a bunch of guns inbound. I say a bunch of guns. We only have 6 guns, and they're going inbound, and we get 3 overpens, because reasons. Yeah, Checks out, right? And I just realized there's a Texas out here, but there's also a Tiger out there, and he wastes no time. And I don't even see that salvo coming in, and he removes me from the game. And yeah, I mean, as you guys can see, my luck so far in just getting removed by everything has not been, you know, it's just been there. Like, every game I've played so far, that was my second game, and we just got dev struck once again. I take a shot at the Texas, and that freaking Tiger immediately takes a shot, and he already had shots coming around the corner. You know, so that is unfortunate. But nonetheless, we are now in the third and final game in the Mikoyan. And yeah, so far, man, the experience I've been having with this ship has just not been good. Has not been good at all. Like I said before, I'm not doubting that you can have a good game in this ship. It has really good guns, but this ship, man, it is the epitome of a glass cannon, even more so than the Omahas. I rarely get Citadel in the Omaha, which is weird. It should get Citadel a lot more, but I don't. And I think the reason being is the Omaha Citadel is just smaller. Omaha has a smaller Citadel. Maybe that's why I don't get Citadel as much. And not to mention the Omahas have a little bit more health and hit points and whatnot. So anyway, here's the third game and the final game. We are on, I think this is Haven. I don't remember the name of this map either. But we have a Congo right out here. And, well, we waste no time in getting shots downrange. And, you know, my team isn't being very aggressive. So I'm going to take the charge here and push straight in. And I think this is where I just end up dying. Usually when I play Omaha, I can do stuff like this. I can move in and I can kite back out and I can do a bunch of things with my rudder and I can keep on dishing out a bunch of 6-inch guns and it's a good time. But in this cruiser, it does not do that very well. I'll just tell you right now. Now here's the Furitaka. And well, the Furitaka it's armed with 200mm guns, 8-inch guns, and they have no problem penning the crap out of me, which is why I'm not sailing in a straight line. I'm trying to, like, turn and angle a little bit, and, you know, I'm not trying to make it easy. Now, speaking of making it easy, I did just get a double Citadel. The Furitaka is making it quite easy for me to get Citadels. He is very over-angled, and we get these guns off again, and as you guys can see, we have no problem dev striking that Furitaka, but as you guys just saw, before he died, he hit me through the bow for, like, I don't know, 6,000-7,000 damage there. He got a Citadel right before he died, and then the Matsuki gets spotted, and he has torpedoes incoming, and, well, yeah, that's my third and final game. So far, the Mikoyan, not a big fan of it, but let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Thank you all for watching, and nonetheless, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out. Stay healthy, as always.